Congratulations on making it this far within this course. This lesson, I want to do a quick overview of what we did with Axios and the project that we worked on. So essentially, we built several different API connections, and the last one that we worked on was actually a form submission. So we were submitting data from our web form. We were submitting that, and when we click the submit button using JavaScript to add an event listener that submits when the form is clicked, doing a prevent default so the form doesn't submit. We're setting up our URL, so this is where we're submitting our data to. So this is a simple endpoint that I've created that basically picks up form information and returns it back in a JSON format. So it's fairly dynamic, so we can add different inputs and have that displayed back to us and within the response from the server in a JSON format. So the next thing that we did, again, this is all just plain JavaScript here, where we were grabbing the element values. So we had to pick up the information from the inputs fields, whatever was posted there, and turn it into a variable. And then we built our string. So this is our data string, and we did it again in a form format, submitting it within a form format. So we use the name equals, and then the value, and then we tie it together with an ampersand, the name equals value. So we're able to pick up those values from the input forms and send it over using Axios. So Axios was a great way to post data, provided us a really nice clean functionality here where all we need to do is provide the URL, which we have over here, and then the data that we're submitting, so in this type of data format. So this also depends on what you've got your server expecting. So in this case, because it is a simple API, expecting it within a form format, it depends, again, you could retrieve the data in a number of different ways on your server. And we saw that earlier as well, that depending on how you've got your server or your endpoint configured, you might send the data in a different format. So we've got our first promise there, and what this promise is doing is simply it's console logging out the response back from the server, and it returns back in a format. So this is structured, and then the actual response information from the server is contained within data, and we saw this whole XHR object. So it's using JavaScript XHR, so typical, we get all of that, all of the details back, and it nicely packages it. So that's done by Axios. And then we added in a catch here. So it's always good to have a catch in case there's an error, so we can log that error and we can deal with it and handle it. So this was just a quick overview of the Axios form that we worked on within this project. And then of course, we can take a look at the form. So basically what it's doing, we've got our two input fields, and it's submitting using AJAX to submit content to the server. And then what we can do here at this point, we can make use of that data. So if we wanted to, we could update some of our HTML. So we could do something like document. And this time, let's grab the H1. And we'll update the inner HTML of that. So this is all plain JavaScript. So we're retrieving it back as data, and then we've got first, and we can concatenate it together, leave a space there. And then again, data, because this is the format that we are retrieving the data in. So this time, when I refresh it, we update our H1 tag. So we've completed all of the AJAX cycle where we've connected to the server, we've loaded some data in the background, and we've updated our HTML. So I do encourage you, try this out for yourself and experiment a little bit. Axios has quite a few options here. You can also set up different request headers. You can do a delete. There's a bunch of options here that you can do as well. And they've got more information in their GitHub repo site. So you can find out more about doing more customized AJAX calls using Axios. So go ahead and check that out.